guys, it's Patty, Cook, Cut, and Create. It is Friday, May 15th, 2026, and it is Food Friday. Today we're going to make a crock-pot lasagna. This is a perfect lasagna for someone who doesn't want to have to take all the time to pre-boil the noodles, create the sauce, yada, yada, yada. And especially if you have an aversion or someone you know has an aversion to cottage cheese, this is a great recipe because this is one that does not have cottage cheese in it. So let's get to what you're going to need. First main thing you're going to need is a crock pot. You can have one of the original small ones, or you can have one of the larger oval ones. That's the one I'm going to use. If you want to use a smaller one, just, you're going to adjust the amounts that you're going to use. But from there, we need some cooking spray because we're going to spray the inside of our crock pot. You're going to need 1 to 2 jars of some type of spaghetti sauce or pasta sauce. It's your choice. You can make your own or what have you. 1 to 2 jars of Alfredo sauce or make your own. It's your preference. You're going to need oven-ready lasagna noodles. Oven-ready. Don't go and buy just regular lasagna noodles. You need oven-ready lasagna noodles. You're going to need 2 to 3 cups of shredded mozzarella cheese. You're going to need 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. You can use either freshly grated or you can use the store grated. It does not matter which one you use. It is your preference. Now, you're also going to need hamburger meat, some type of meat. You can use, if you're using a smaller crock pot, you're going to want 1 pound to 1.5 pounds of meat. Or I typically use 2 pounds to just over 2 pounds because we really like a meaty lasagna here. Your meat, you can use good old ground beef if you want to. You could do half and half. Use part ground beef and then half sausage, kielbasa sausage, pork, whatever sausage you want to use. If you don't want to use ground beef, use ground turkey. If you want to use ground chicken, because some people do, then you would want to do all Alfredo sauce rather than spaghetti sauce or pasta sauce. Now, seasoning-wise, seasoning is completely up to you. You can go with what is in your sauces and just leave it at that, or you can add to it. What I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to add minced garlic. Yes, it's garlic. I'm not doing my own. There's nothing wrong with garlic. Not a thing wrong with it. I'm also going to be using garlic salt that has parsley in it. When I first start browning my hamburger meat, I'm going to add a little bit to it at that point. But then when I drain the hamburger meat and get ready to mix the spaghetti sauce into it, I'm really going to add to it. So what we're going to go ahead and do right now is we're going to go ahead and spray the inside of our crock pot. Just, it doesn't have to be a thick coating, just a little bit of a coating. That's enough. Take and open up one of your jars of your spaghetti sauce, and you're going to put a little bit on the bottom just to coat the bottom. Just want to give a coating on that. And that's all you do for the first part. Now you're going to brown your meat. Whatever, I have to remember which spot it is. But you're going to brown your meat, and whatever seasonings you want to put into it to start with, you can. New jar of garlic. I haven't used this one yet. So I'm actually, let me grab a little spoon. I'm going to add, because garlic tends to burn off sometimes when you're first cooking. So use like 2.5 small spoons of it. And when I get ready to drain it and add my spaghetti sauce, I'll actually do a little bit more. Then the garlic salt with the parsley in it. I'm just going to give a good liberal sprinkling across the top of it. And we're going to get this browned up. Guys, I'll be back with you in a minute. I'm going to get this meat browned up and drained. Alright guys, we're back. Our hamburger meat is browned. And I have drained it off. I'm going to go ahead and turn the burner off. And what you're going to want to do, go ahead and add in your sauce. Turn that upside down for a moment. We're going to put just a tad of water in each jar. When you do that, you get all the extra sauce out of it, or as much as you can. There's one. Some water in this one. And there's the second one. Now, one thing I will tell you, I'm going to tell you a trick that my mother-in-law taught me early into my marriage. Anytime that you're using a jar spaghetti sauce or pasta sauce. It tends to be tart. Add a little bit of sugar to it, and it gets rid of the tartness. Okay, we're going to take those two things and we're going to mix them in here really well, because I'm probably going to add some more of my garlic spices, but I want to taste it first. We want to get it good and mixed up. And like, remember, if I said if you opt to use chicken instead of beef or turkey, use all Alfredo sauce instead of your spaghetti sauce, and that will actually make it a white lasagna. We're going to taste this. See if I need to put a little bit more of the garlic in it. It does taste good, but I think I'm going to take and play with the food. Remember, your food is all about experimentation. Don't be afraid to play with it. Cook with your heart and your gut. I think that's going to be good on the garlic. I do want to add a little bit more of the garlic salt with parsley in it. I'm going to be liberal with this. Yes, I am making the mess. Okay, we're going to get this mixed up really good. Woo, I love the smell of garlic. And garlic is good for you. My father-in-law was a garlic man. If he could have gotten away with it, he would have put garlic into his baked beans. I think on occasion there was probably garlic in those baked beans. Okay. Oh, yes. Now remember what I said. Play with your food. Experiment with the spices that you put in it. You may want it bland. You may want it to be more expressive. So we are going to layer in the lasagna at this point. And remember, when we first opened our sauce, we took some of the sauce and put it onto the bottom of the crock pot. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to shift you up so you guys can watch me do this. Right, here we go. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to layer it. So what you're going to want to do first, grab your oven ready lasagna noodles. Start with one and put it right in the middle of your crock pot. And of course I'm going to have to break it a little bit. Breaking your noodles is not a problem, but you want to create a layer of noodles. Now you can get persnickety and you can fill in all the spaces. That is entirely up to you. It's personal preference. These noodles bake really, really well. Sneak one more in there. Excuse me. But there's your first layer of noodles. Now you're going to layer in some of your hamburger meat, your sauce mixture. Let's put it that way. Your sauce mixture, be whatever it is. Start in the middle, kind of spread it out a little bit. And be mindful of how much sauce you have, that you don't spread too much, get too thick of a layer, or you won't have enough to make it all the way to the top. Next you're going to do the good old Alfredo sauce. Just sling it in there. And if you noticed, it doesn't spread completely out. You can absolutely, where it is, we're just going to use this spoon. You can use a spoon, spread it out a little bit. That's entirely your choice. Now, when I first started making this, I coated the entire level of it. I was very liberal with my sauces and such. And I'll explain to you in a minute why you may not want to be so liberal. Next, you're going to add your mozzarella cheese. You just want to reach in, grab a good layer, and just spread it out. Now, cheese does create a sauce. Remember, it melts, so it does become liquid. So if you add in a lot of cheese, I used to entirely coat that level. If you notice, you can still see some sauce and stuff. I used to coat the entire layer with nothing but cheese. At the end of everything, if you have a lot of cheese in there, it creates more liquid, and it's going to look like a soup when it's done. And, you know, that's nothing wrong with it because it is delicious. But if you want a more put together lasagna, don't put very much cheese on each level, just enough to satisfy your taste. This is one that this dish can definitely be played with, and how much meat you use, how much sauce you use, how much cheese you use. Never be afraid to play with your food. And we're going to go back and we're just going to create another layer. And like I said, remember, you can break your needles. As you get higher up, if you're using an oval crock pot, you'll be able to put more in. I want to do a couple pieces at the end here. That works for me. Next is going to be another layer of meat sauce. Because you want at least good 3 layers of everything if possible. When I first started making this particular recipe, I could fill it to the very, very top. And that's a good thing if there was a lot of people eating it, but sometimes you don't want that much in there. I'm actually going to spread this sauce out a little bit. Okay. So this would almost be considered a thin layer. Next, we want our sauce. And of course, I pre-opened this jar. I have not pre-opened that one. Sometimes you don't want to if you don't think you're going to use it all. I do believe I will be using both jars. I'm going to give this one a good liberal dose of this season. You see how it kind of combines together through there? And I want to tell you, the smell is amazing. Next is going to be more mozzarella cheese. We're going to be a little bit more liberal with this layer. Okay. Next, noodle again. One noodle. We might be able to get too wide on this one. No, we're still going to have to break this one. And you could leave them this way if you wanted to, short ways, but you'd have to break them more. And that gives me what I want there. See? Okay, meat sauce next. And this is my 3rd layer. And I could use all of my meat that I have left if I wanted to for this last layer. But I'm actually going to try to squeeze another layer out. So this is going to be a thin layer. And this is where, if I was only doing a pound of meat, I wouldn't have gotten so far. But if you're in a smaller crock pot, the little round ones, it'd be perfect. You have to play with the amounts. It takes time to learn what your preference is according to the size of your crock pot. All right, we got that in there. Next, we're going to do our Alfredo sauce. And this jar is pretty much empty. You can take a spatula up in there and get the rest of it out. I got most of it out already, so I'm not going to today. But we're going to be very liberal with this layer. Go ahead and spread it out really good. And just the smells, when everything's settling in there, it smells so good. And like I said, it's your preference as to how much cheese you use into it. I buy these big 2-pound cheese. They're 8 cups. It just, for me, as much as I use cheeses here in the house, it's better off financially if I just do it this way. All right, let's go for another layer in here. Let's scoot this one over, see if we can get 2 side by side. They overlap a little bit. I'm okay with that. I'm trying not to break too many more. Let's see this one. This one's going to have a lot of layers left. Samantha, you can eat that. I don't care. She loves, my oldest dog, she loves dairy pasta. All right, there we go. We're going to be liberal with this one since we actually get 4 layers into here. Ah! Boy, did I goof. But that's okay, because it's my top layer. Cheese. Alfredo sauce. Boy, I can't talk right now, can I? Now we're going to do the hamburger, the meat sauce. And that's only because of the fact that I goofed it. Although you can reverse your layers if you want to for your last layers. You absolutely can. And as you notice, I don't have a lot up here at the top. So the Alfredo and the meat sauce is just going to kind of combine together. We all make mistakes. We are perfectly imperfect. And at the end of the day, it's all going to taste amazing when it's finished. You can trust me on that one. Do I want to add a little bit more in there? Yeah, because this jar is just about empty too. So we're just going to go ahead and be super liberal with our Alfredo sauce. top it with some more mozzarella. And yes, I know I probably shouldn't be putting my hands in the bag like that, but here's the thing. My hands were washed before I started. I washed between many, many things that I do. And I know that I'll be using this again in something else tomorrow. And it's just me, so I'm not worried about it. Okay, so we have all of our layers. What we're going to do now, you're going to want to take your Parmesan cheese. Go ahead and get a good liberal coating on here. Then, of course, you want to save some of it for when you do serve this. All right, let's get everything shifted out of the way real quick. We're going to slide it over here so I can get it plugged in. And it is very heavy, so definitely put it together in the spot where it's going to be sitting out while you're cooking. Let me bring you over a little bit. I'm going to be moving you guys. Hold on. All right. Oh, I can't do that because I have the stovetop still on. So I'm just going to hold you guys. So as you can see, all of our layers are done. Now what we're going to do now, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to pop the top on. Alright, looks good. We're going to turn it on high. And then we are going to walk away and leave it for at least an hour. Don't touch it for at least an hour. Let it sit there and do its job. Let it boil. Let it bubble. Let it cook all of its goodness in there. Don't touch it for at least an hour. Now, it is up to you. If you're going to be here to monitor it, you can leave it on high for the entire cooking time. Typically 2.5 to 3 hours on high. Or leave it on high for the first hour. Stir it and then let it sit on low for about 2 to 3 hours. This is all personal preference because you are using oven-ready lasagna noodles. So it doesn't take as much cooking time as a traditional noodle will. You got to remember, you've already cooked your meat that's in it, and it's also heated the sauce up that's in it. Now everything is sitting there and it's going to be warming everything together. It's going to be heating your cheese and melting it. It's going to let everything drip through and combine and just get really, really good and hot, steamy, and delicious. So, what we're going to do is we're going to let it sit for an hour on high, and then we will come back and check it. I'll check in with you shortly. All right, guys, it's been an hour, so we're going to come in and we're going to check this out. Take a looky there. Look, see how it's starting to melt in. Now, if you had a lot of cheese in this, this would be more soupy with a lot more liquid, but it's slowly melting in. It's still on high. Literally, what you're going to want to do at the hour mark is just take your spoon and just kind of dip it down on the bottom. Just kind of lift a little bit. Woo! Look at how smooth that cheese is getting. You're just going to lift it a little bit. That's all you're going to want to do. And that way it's just making sure that nothing is sticking. Now, if you are home and you're going to be keeping an eye on it, let it cook for the next 2 hours on high. If you're going to be outside and you might get distracted, go ahead and drop it down to low for the next 2 to 3 hours. Again, this is going to be your preference as to when you are ready for it. But the longer it cooks in here at this point, the hotter and better it's going to get. Trust me on this. You've got to go a minimum of 3 hours on this, whether you do it an hour on high, 2 on low, or all on high. A minimum of 3 hours on this, guys. But we're going to check back in about another hour. And at that point, we should start getting a lot of bubbling up through it. See you guys in about an hour. All right, guys, it's been another hour. So we're at the end of 2 hours on high. And as you can see, it is starting to bubble. And it smells really, really well. You're going to want to take and just like we did before at the end of the first hour, just kind of scoop into it a little bit. And this, what that does is just make sure it's not sticking anywhere and potentially burning. But look at the cheese melt. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is going to be good. It smells amazing. Now, as you can see, there's still some cheese that's keeping its cheese form, but most of it is starting to melt. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to continue to leave it on high, and in about another 30 minutes, I'm going to open her up and stir her again. I will see you guys back in 30 minutes. All right, guys, we're back. It's been a total of right at 2 hours and 45 minutes. I'm ready to try some of this. So let's go ahead and dip it up. It is, let me bring you over real quick and I'm going to show you the top of this. That's what she's looking like right now. Still bubbling, but you see how soupy looking it's looking? That's because of the amount of cheese that I used in it. If you don't use that much cheese, it won't be like that. We're going to go ahead and dip it up. I'm just going to use a spoon. Look at that. Look at that. And you see all the cheese coming off of it. I'm going to put just enough on here. Now I am going to keep it on high for about another 30 minutes. And then I will cut it down to low so that everybody else can come in and have some. And of course, I highly recommend you having a good garlic toast or garlic bread to go with this, or even Hawaiian sweet rolls works really good, because with the Hawaiian sweet rolls you can scoop it up. But take a look here. Look at that. It looks delicious. And there's steam coming off of it, and the longer it sits in the crock pot, the hotter it will get. Ooh, hot! I made a mess. Guys, this is so good. So good. So good. I'm gonna be taking it over there, sitting and eating it. And then I will be coming back for seconds. And I will tell you that this is something that when you go to reheat it in the microwave, make sure it's covered, because of the meat sauce and everything in it, it will splatter in your microwave. But the more you reheat this, the better it gets. And if I wanted to, I could go ahead and turn it to warm right now. And by the time that the guys were to come in and eat, it would be really, really thick, because the longer it sits at a lower temperature, it will start to thicken back up. But this is something I can eat off of this all weekend long, and I probably will. All I can hear is the bubble, bubble, bubble off of it. It's that good. Play with your food, because I can tell you, with this one, the garlic that I put into it, I probably could have put a little bit more of the garlic into it and I would have been happy. But absolutely, this is one recipe that you can play with. More meat, less meat. More cheese, less cheese. More garlic. Play with your flavors. Play with your seasonings. Be brave. Be bold. Take a risk. This is something that I have taken to potluck dinners before. I've taken them to a Christmas dinner before. That was a family get-together for a Christmas dinner. I didn't bring any home with me. I did not bring any home with me. This is something also, if you wanted to, you can make it a few days ahead of time, or even put it up. Say you want to make it on a Monday but have it for the weekend. Cook it for the 3 hours on high, as long as you're around to keep an eye on it. If not, 1 hour on high, 2 hours on low. Then take the whole thing, wrap it in tin foil, set it into your freezer. When you need it for that weekend, set it out and put it into your crock pot on warm for about 3 hours. And then about an hour before you need it, go ahead and crank it up to high. Just make sure to occasionally go in and stir it. And all that is doing is just to make sure it's not sticking to the bottom, because that can happen. But I highly recommend you try this. It can be addictive. And remember, if you have a smaller crock pot, just reduce the amount in it. If you want to take it all the way top, create more meat sauce to go into it. The more cheese you have in this, the superior it will be. But you can take, when you're done with it for the first evening, let it cool down, take the whole thing and just, take the pot out of this part of it, set it in your fridge, make sure you have a towel on it. Most everybody has glass tops in their shelves in their fridges. You don't want the heat to crack your glass, so make sure it's on a hand towel. Let it sit there. When you bring it out the next day, pop it on a plate, stick it in the microwave for about 3.5 minutes, and you're good to go. This is something that gets better every time you reheat it, if you're lucky enough to have leftovers. Guys, I want to wish you well. And for those of you out there who are Outlander fans, today was the series finale. about 5 minutes ago. I just finished watching it. No spoilers. All I can say is, there better be a movie. Guys, until next time, remember, love yourself, believe in others, and inspire those around you. I will see you next time.